We're back. I can't fucking believe it, but we're back. How's the audio? Welcome, everybody. I hope I'm audible, actually. Let me double check. You never know. Audio. I mean, the microphone's there. It should be audible. Audio sounds good. Pretty audible. Okay, then that's... Okay, let me actually move the chat, because you guys are not that visible. Oh, my god. My god. We're back. It's been so long. It's been so long. It's been a week. It's been a week. It's been a horrendous week. It's been an awful week. I hated every single minute of what happened, and I'm so glad to be back. It was horrendous work to get everything back. Ooh! Welcome to the stream, everybody. How's it going? How's it been? Parsage, Chanty, Andy, Frenzied, Furbex. I see Sizzleback. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I thought to see Alex is subscribing. Thanks so much for subscribing, Alex. And we have a stream streak, 450 for Parsage. We will immediately update that while we're at it. Let me move my face out of the way for a moment. I must say, Andy had a point. He said, like, when he had to 450. Oh no, sorry, those were the points. 110. Didn't stream for a week. Immediately don't know how it works anymore. My god. Where are you? Oh, there you are. This is 450. The 450 is kind of a lot, but it's not too crazy because we have higher. And 235 for Alex. Thank you so much for your stream streak. Let me update that one as well. Oh. Bears, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for subscribing for 40 months. Holy shit, that's a lot. Oh, I think the headpad's not going... It's not turning off anymore. Of course we're gonna have tech issues. Of course we're gonna have tech issues. I probably did something wrong when turning that on. When let me check. Let me just, you know, just... Expression editor. Why are you not turning off? I probably forgot to click a button somewhere. Oh yeah, stop after 10 seconds. It's now forever being pet. Can I take that off? Or take you? Oh my god. Horrendous. Let me move aside for a second so we can look at the stream streak. We haven't seen it in a while. It's been a while since we've seen this, and I also don't want this music. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It's just not the vibe I want to go for today. Andy, 600? That's true. Holy shit. 600. Andy, you're absolutely insane. I think the funny thing was, Andy was at, I think, oh, sorry. 599 just as my PC broke down and I couldn't stream. This was the hardest edging session for Andy in like a month. Oh, I think I'm peaking actually with my microphone. And if the audio is off, if anything like feels weird, let me know, because fun fact, story time. My PC broke. My PC broke, and it was not my fault. It broke, and I had to do everything all over again. I had to wipe the entire thing clean and set up everything from scratch. It was horrendous. I hated every single minute of it. I've been on a cliffhanger for a while. Yeah. It's been so long since last I've seen my son. Oh no. Not the FNAF song. I've been alright, a bit tired though. Took a 6-hour nap today before sleeping. I've been spiraling, but now I'm feeling better. That's a long ass nap. I hope it helped. Ow! Oh, my tea. My tea is hard. Oh, it's so hot. Zoopja with a 60 stream streak as well. Everybody's inning their stream streaks today. Which is logical because I've been edging all of you. 60. And you would think like, oh my god, Marty, you've been able to work on art for like the entire week. I have not. I have worked on some art because I was lucky. Oh, the Tanja's behind me. Whoops. Sorry. See, this is what I mean. 40 stream streak for Patrick as well. Holy shit. You, unless Gata lets us know that he has a 40 as well, you just knocked Gata off the stream streak board. Also, welcome to the stream, Apollo, Izumtia, Patrick, Pupa, Furbex. I already saw Furbex. I was talking to you earlier. Patrick. Oh. My god. This is bullshit. I'm stuck at 24. No. The cheese hit the window behind me. It did help. I need tea now. Hey, I got tea too. A chocolate bar? Ah, delicious banana. I want a chocolate bar. I want a chocolate bar, but I've been having horrible stomach problems ever since this bullshit has happened. My bowels, as everybody probably knows here, are not the best. I am chronically ill, especially in the bowel section. As soon as there's a form of stress, they will go haywire. Safe to say, I've been not having a great time at all with anything. Everything's been horrible. Work has been horrible. My computer breaking has been horrible. My bowels have been horrible. Oh, I've been out of practice throwing the cheese, indeed. Couldn't practice for a week. Chocolate bar with raspberry and half dark cranberry. Wait, you mean half dark chocolate and cranberry, or half dark cranberries? I don't think I've ever heard of half dark cranberries. Oh, trick is 228 right now. I'm away from the update. That's okay, that's okay. Actually, speaking of stream streak, I have my biggest stream streak so far, which is, I think, 31 on Andy's stream. Let me quickly peek if he is online yet, because he said he was going to, and I'm not losing this stream streak. I have to say, this is like, keep your stream streak on hard mode, because this motherfucker doesn't let me know when he goes online. So I'm like, oh shit, he's online. I almost lost it at some point. I was like, oh, he was talking to me about his stream. And I think this was on a day where everything already had been going wrong. And he just said it. I was like, you were streaming today? And he's like, oh, your stream streak. I'm like, Thankfully, I could sort of pause it by watching the VOD. Apparently, when you watch the VOD, it doesn't give you, like, it doesn't update your stream streak, but like pauses it. So you at least you don't lose it, which is nice. You know, I didn't want to lose it. Let me see. He's not online yet. Okay. Thank you for the lurk, Parsage. That's how I kept mine at 40. That's fair, that's fair. Hey, it's something. You hear sirens outside your window. Damn, I hope it's nothing serious. I mean, it is probably if it's sirens. So, what happened? What happened, Marley? What happened? Like, you haven't been here for a week. What happened? Did you take a break? Did you make awesome art? I did. I did make awesome art after I got my PC back up and after I got my PC back up and running. I have been working on some art while the PC was broken, but it was not relaxing. It was all very stressful, and it was all very sad. Sorry again to hear about all the trouble you've been through, though, Marley. Very glad you're back. And I'm so very thankful for everybody in this community that was so very loving and so very supportive. I got several DMs of people wanting to try and help me with tech issues. And even for those who couldn't help me with tech issues, tried to offer other forms of help, which thankfully I didn't need. I did have to make some expenses to get this fixed. Thank you for the lurk, Izumsja. But thankfully it wasn't too much, because I can get a bit back because I made a wrong purchase. So let's start from the beginning. What happened, Marley? You were online and then your PC was broken. Yeah, that's basically it. I think we just had a normal week stream, right? I think we even had stream on Friday. Nothing was wrong on Friday. Well, there was something wrong. I had a Windows update. It was forced, you know, as they all are, because I hate Windows updates. It was forced as fuck, and it wasn't even supposed to happen, I think, because I have my Windows updates paused, because I've seen too many shit going on online where they're like, oh my god, I had an update, and now this this part of my PC is not working, or worse, people's PCs actually got fucking bricked. And I have to give a little bit of a warning here. I will probably use some terms not entirely correctly. It's just, that's just how it's gonna be, you know. I think on Thursday late or Friday morning, either one of those. I don't exactly remember, but very close to Friday, I had a Windows update that was forced. And I have those paused because I see so much shit going on online where PC is getting broken because of said Windows updates. That I was like, okay, I keep my Windows updates paused so that there is gonna be a patch by the time that my PC updates. You know, you can pause it for like 5 weeks, and that's so far it has always been enough time where the PC update would have a patch, so nothing would go wrong. Welcome to the stream, Heavy! And after the Windows update, my drawing tablet wouldn't work anymore. The Wacom pen pressure was gone. And this has happened before. It's annoying, but it's not the end of the world, because before I could just update the driver and it would be fixed. I opened the Wacom program to help me like fix or repair the Wacom driver, and it said something was wrong. It couldn't update the driver. It couldn't fix the driver like from out the program. So I was like, okay, let me just re-download it. It's the same driver it has always been. There was nothing wrong with it. I didn't go to a weird site. I didn't download a shady driver. I just downloaded the driver that I always had on both PCs. As on the desktop, as on the laptop, it's the same fucking driver. It's been the same tablet, the same driver, with the same OS. Windows 11. Let's see, what am I missing? Windows vibe coding, Windows updates. I fucking hate Windows updates now. Welcome to the stream, Mask, and also Chanty. No worries, you deserve every single loving word because you are going through some shit. My brain turned off last week. I fell out of reality and felt bad. I returned to it. I mean, reality is sometimes really shitty. I can admit my week last week was absolutely horrendous because I don't think I turned the PC off at some point after I updated the driver. Usually my PC is just on for the entire day. I'll be drawing, I'll be working on stuff, I'll be listening to music, and then in the evening I'll stream. And then after stream I turn off the PC, go to bed. Next morning, and that's basically what we did. Like the only thing that was weird was that repos loading times were like absolutely horrendous and people kept being booted from the lobby. I don't think this is a problem with Windows. But, you know, we'll have to figure that out later because I didn't hear anything on the Steam discussion board where I asked if anybody else has this problem. But that's a problem for later. The problem now was we played Repo and it was all fine and dandy. It was all fun. I turned off the PC, went to bed, and actually on Friday, I also got a program that, like, Bobo sent me a link because I asked, like, hey, does anybody know how to, like, turn off those Windows updates, or at least, like, have a workaround where you don't get the faulty ones, because I don't want to end up with a broken PC, and I keep having troubles every time I have a Windows update. One of my drivers gets fucked up, and it's annoying to have to deal with all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on this on the weekend, so I turned off stream, turned off the PC, went to bed. Welcome to the stream, Gardinas! And the stretch, oh my god. Oh, that was a good stretch. And yeah, I just woke up on Saturday, turned on the PC, and I think I went and made breakfast or lunch. I woke up a little late. I'm usually not an early bird in the weekend. So I turned on the PC, didn't look at it, and just walked away as it started up. Went to play with the cats, went to grab some food, waited for groceries to come in, and was doing my stuff around the house. And at this point, the PC is in a corner where if you walk around just normally, like around the kitchen and stuff, you don't really easily see the screen. And so I didn't notice until I got back and wanted to, like, start up my art and everything for the day. Suddenly I had a screen that said, your PC ran into a problem and something, try and fix it. I was like, what? And I was very loud when I said, what the fuck is this? I was so loud that my roommate came in. I was like, what's going on? I was like, my PC is having an issue. Like, it was on I think it was on a black screen that said, like, it had run into a problem. And it had to fix something to basically get back up and running again. And I was like, oh no. But at first, I wasn't initially stressed as much. I was stressed, but also I was like, I knew that PCs often have a lot of options to repair themselves and, like, look around and fix things. That's what I was used to from PCs, actually. So I did restart the PC and I was like, okay, it's gonna be fine. And it was not gonna be fine. I was very stressed, but I was like, I was trying to gaslight myself. I was trying to gaslight myself, like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna fix itself. It's gonna be fine. Restarted PC, and it went to the desktop. It started up to the desktop, like where you can see the background and everything, and your apps and your programs. It would be on there for, like, I think 10 to 20 seconds, and then it would screen tear. It would have this awful motherfucking glitchy screen, and then say it ran into a problem, and it would restart or turn itself off. I'm not exactly sure, but I was like, oh my god. And this was exactly the type of screen. I've talked about this before. I don't know if everybody knows this, but I've talked about this before. I think when we were playing Doom, actually. Was it Doom or Lethal Company? It was something. I get this intense anxiety when there's a glitchy PC screen. Like, actually, I think I might still have a video of it. It would show a few varieties, because I kept trying to restart it, and I was hoping that the PC would, like, figure itself out. But it kept going to the background. It started up until, like, the desktop. It would screen tear, and it would turn off again. I was like, okay, this is not okay. This is not okay. I don't know what to do. Thankfully, my roommate was home, and is a lot more tech savvy than I am. And we tried a few things, and it got until the point where we got to the blue screen of death, basically, for Windows 11, where it gives you the options to, I think, use either recovery points, open up the command prompt, or say, like, okay, no, I want you to start up the computer. I want you to go on and start up Windows 11 and just go on your way. But every time I would do that, it would go to the desktop. It would, it would be there for like 10 to 20 seconds, and then it would screen tear and it would go off. Let me see if I can actually find the screen. I have so many videos, there's so many pictures of shit, because we tried so many things all the time that eventually it would not go to the desktop anymore. Eventually it would just go to the blue screen of death, and that was it. If I were to try and go to the desktop, it would just restart, say it's like, oh, there's a problem. Let me diagnose your PC and fix it. But it would not be able to diagnose, and it would like restart and go back to the blue screen of death. So I was like, okay, that's a problem. I started panicking because at this point I was not able to get to the desktop. Even in the beginning, when I was able to get to the desktop, it wouldn't be there long enough for me to connect my external hard drive and get the files off of here that I desperately wanted to get off of here. Because what I kept secret was that I was already working on the rebrand model, the big rebrand model. I had already finished a few things for the rebrand, and the big rebrand model was already, like, line art wise, for Marley at least, not for Mavis, but for Marley, line art wise was mostly done. And I was like, I worked on that model already for like a few weeks with like the sketch work, the sketch reference, and then the line art, and some sketchy line art ideas for Mavis. So I was like, okay, I really don't want to have to redo that, because I made some cool stuff that I wasn't sure if I was able to redo immediately. And I was like, I really want that file. And there were some other files for the rebrand that I wanted to get off. And you probably think like, oh Marley, but why didn't you make a backup? Keep in mind, this is the desktop that is only 4 months old at this point. I had everything still on the laptop, mostly, but there were some art files on here that I was like, okay, I kind of need those. I could make them again, but that would take me at least a few weeks to a few months, depending on how much I have to remake. And if that were the case, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to reach the deadline that I had set for myself for this rebrand. Actually, was this the video with the screen tear? Oh yeah, it said your PC or your device ran into a problem and couldn't be repaired. Click or press to enter other recovery options. That was basically what we got after the computer just went in full fuck up mode. I'm trying to... Can I... Okay. Okay, I got the screen tear. Pause it. Oh. Okay, I got a picture of the screen tear. I want to show you guys this specifically, because every time this would pop up, not only would it give me anxiety because my computer was broken, but also this is just specifically that type of glitchy screen. This is not as bad as it could have been when I was younger. I specifically remember playing Jazz Jack Rabbit, pushing a very specific button combination, and it would like glitch out. That one specifically freaked me the fuck out as a kid. But this one was a close second, I have to admit. Let's see, where is it? Save image. Not in there, please. Why is this screen so weird? Because everything is weird. Look at this PC. Okay. Image. Oh my god, this is Tiger. Look, this is the screen tear. So, that's fucked up, you know? That's kind of freaky. Let me just switch music real quick. Thank you for the lurk. I would legit freak out if my PC did that. This freaked me out. And this would happen every time I try to restart it. And now my YouTube's trying to buffer. Okay. It would screen tear like this, and then basically say, fuck you, and it would not work. That's a freaky screen, you know? Especially for a PC that is 4 months old and is not even close to supposed to be breakable. Because all parts, no secondary parts. At some point, when we were working on this, I also messaged my brother because I was like, I don't know anything. And my brother actually has experience with computers. Way more than I do. You know, he works in IT as well, so... And he's been, like, playing around with PC parts and shit, so I was like, okay, if anybody knows what to do, it's him. So I messaged my brother, like, hey, so, what do I do if my PC is starting up like this and it won't repair itself? Because at this point, I couldn't get into this PC. Not a professional, but to me, it seems like the BIOS died or something else got bricked in the software. So funny enough, the BIOS didn't die. The BIOS was actually one of the only things that was still accessible. And thanks to that, I, at some point, could try and connect a USB drive with a clean new version of Windows 11 on it. Before I did that, I tried all kinds of shit. I think one of the first things I tried was, let me see. One of the first things I tried was uninstalling the Windows updates. Because I was like, you know, I just had a Windows update yesterday. Now my PC is broken. So we're just gonna uninstall those updates. Because I was pretty sure that was the issue. Because I didn't do anything besides downloading one driver from a secure website that I was very sure of that wasn't the problem because I had used that website before. Thank you for the hydrate, Epic Gamer, and Twice. Welcome to the stream, guys. How you doing? PC is fixed. It took a long time though. Also, hi late night. Welcome to the stream as well. I showed you my shitty space pic. Please respond. I still need to respond to that one. I've seen it. One of the first things I tried was uninstalling the Windows updates. And there were two options. One was a quality update uninstall, and one was a feature update uninstall. And I was like, you know what? Let's do the quality update first, because that's just the first one on the list. Did the quality update uninstall? Didn't work. I was like, okay, great, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted, you know? Let's do the feature update uninstall. I clicked the Windows feature update uninstall. You know what it said? You know what it told me? You know what it told me? Let's see. Where is it? We ran into a problem and won't be able to uninstall the latest feature update of Windows. Try resetting your PC instead. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. That's what I've been doing! Ah! So, yeah. You know. I haven't been here in how long? That's okay, that's okay. We had a little bit of a break thanks to Windows. And the stressful thing was, my PC kept doing this with a lot of things. I tried basically everything there was to try, and every time it said it couldn't do it, it couldn't uninstall this, it couldn't reset that, it couldn't find these files. At some point, I think I had like 6 people trying to help me with all kinds of ideas. At some point, I had given up and I told my roommate, like, here's the PC. Go. Do whatever you want. If I can have my files back, I would be very happy. But at this point, I was about to give up. Thankfully, they did not try like a full reset where I would lose my files. But nothing worked. And they went very deep into like the command prompt to try and find out everything and anything. And funny enough, at some point I had made this USB with a new version of Windows 11. Because I still, at this point, thankfully, yes, I still had my laptop. And I could use that to make the USB. Then I realized this laptop also has Windows 11. It has also the driver from the Wacom. And it just told me it was also ready for an update. I was like, no. We ain't fucking doing this, motherfucker. You're the last fucking PC I got left. If I don't have you, I got nothing. You know? Yeah, I got like my broken laptop that's like in the bottom of the drawer, basically. So I made the USB drive with the new version of Windows on it. I took my laptop off the Wi-Fi, and in the hope that it would like not do the update. But I was like, oh, I have this update planned for like tomorrow, and I was like, fuck. So I set the time back a year because I was like, oh, you know what? I don't know how long this is gonna take. I don't want to set it back for like a month and then forget about it and then have fuck ups later. You just bear with me here. There's a lot of shit going wrong at this point. Thankfully, I was on time with making that USB drive. I plugged it in, and thankfully, because the BIOS wasn't bricked, we could still, with some key buttons, because every time we tried something, funny enough, every time we tried an option on the blue screen of death to recover this PC, every time it would get less and less options. It would feel like it would get like more and more bricked. And it would just, at some point, it could not start up to that blue screen of death unless I put in the USB stick and use this specific button combination to go to the BIOS and change the boot manager. Great, you know? Fucking lovely. Thanks to the space gods and multiple sodas for whatever is holding the laptop together. This motherfucking laptop deserves a fucking... It deserves a reward, man. It's got soda on it 3 times. It's been holding me sane for so long. I missed being here. Oh, me too. I love it. I didn't know how much I love streaming. I knew I loved streaming. I didn't know how much I loved streaming until I couldn't. Because I was like, I could technically try and stream with the laptop. But because I had that problem with the driver being on there and the Windows update being ready, that I was like, I have to like take a precaution here and just fucking take it off the internet and like reset the time just in case. I wasn't sure if it was gonna help, but logically thinking that would be, you know, if the update is planned for like, because it said specifically it was planned for like date X and X 2026. So I was like, okay, if it's gonna be 2025, you're not gonna do that update, you know? So I did, and it didn't. Welcome to the stream, Kay. Welcome. Are you in the car right now? Is there somebody else? Oh, behind the wheel! Be careful though, be careful. So what we eventually tried was everything, and nothing worked. Either it just did the thing, but it wouldn't fix the problem, or the computer would say it kept running into a problem, or it couldn't do it, basically. And at this point, I was ready to try and reset the OS. So what we could do, what it said, like you could put in the USB with the clean version of Windows 11, the clean install, ready to go. And if it start up, you could either say, I want you to reinstall Windows, delete all the files while you're at it, and then, you know, have everything up and ready. Or repair the PC in that way, where it would basically repair Windows, the OS files, and not touch your files. I was like, let's try that. Let's try the second option. Oh, fun fact, didn't work. What a surprise. That didn't work either, which was one of the last hopes. I went to PC, we called like PC repair shops. We went to PC repair shops with the question of like, hey, do you know what the fuck to do? Because my roommate figured out a lot of stuff, like with the command prompt, and tried so many things that we basically sort of had the sort of semi-diagnoses of if this and this doesn't work, and if this and this doesn't work, basically your OS is corrupt. So Windows didn't update, and it corrupted itself. Somehow, some way. Maybe in combination with a driver that it didn't like. I don't know. But that was the only thing that happened. I had the Windows update and I update my driver. And that was it, you know? I don't know if I immediately got a corrupt version of the Windows update or if it was because the driver, but that was it. So the plan was to keep trying with all kinds of stuff because my roommate has been an absolute fucking mad lad and try to find everything and anything that they could. And at this point, the computer was useless. So I was like, you know what, just go at it, you know, try. Just, they refused to do the full clean install where all your files are deleted. Because I really wanted those updates back. And there were some commissions on here as well that were sort of important. But thankfully, I had also already transferred them to the laptop. Because I was commissioned to make some models. And I was already at the rigging point. I was like, okay, great, perfect. That means I can just, you know, leave them on the laptop. Problem was, if something were to happen to the laptop, those commissions would be gone as well. And the fucking deadline was coming for those in like 2 weeks. I was like, that's not great. I kind of need those because people paid a bunch of money for that. And I don't want to be that fucking commissioner that's going to be, or not commissioner, that artist that's going to be like, I'm sorry, my computer broke. So the stuff that you paid $100 for is now gone. And yeah. I don't know when I'll get back to it. You know, I really don't want to be that person. So, yeah, they didn't touch the files, but we also couldn't fix the computer. So at this point, my only options were fully reset the PC and lose my files, take it apart myself, which I kind of really didn't want to do, or take the entire fucking PC into a shop. Ooh, 20 stream streak for K. I gotta go. Bye. But you can be that artist where your PC is literally bricks itself for reals. Yeah, but I would still feel terrible because, you know, even though it's real, like it's such a. It has been used as such a, what's the word? As such a lame excuse in the past by scammers. Thanks for the alert, late night. So the thing with the shops was, I don't really live near a computer shop where this desktop could be taken to. I would have needed to take it into a shop somewhere in one of the cities that are near me. And I don't have a driver's license. I don't have a car. I know people who have, but I also was like, oh my god, I gotta have to bother someone and get this PC like in a bag that's big enough because I'm not gonna carry it because I'm gonna fucking drop it. And I was so stressed about the whole idea of moving this fucking case. The whole thing with this desktop was I bought it with parts. I had somebody else assemble it, so I wouldn't have to do it. I would put it down here and not touch it. It would not move because I was deadly afraid of something breaking because of me moving it or like touching something. And so I was like, the whole idea was, at some point I'm gonna have to go in and replace the part, but that's gonna be on like 5 to 10 years, you know? Not after 4 fucking months. So at some point I was like, I didn't really feel secure in taking this case outside. And And I was just like, I was also kind of terrified. This might be paranoia talking. This is probably paranoia talking. But I was also kind of terrified of taking it into a shop that I wasn't sure of. Because I don't go to the 2PC shops. I don't know who's like trustable and everything, you know? So I was like, yeah, there's new parts in here. One of which is a new RAM. It's not the newest, but it's also not the oldest. It's a pretty decent RAM for a pretty decent price. That is now at least twice the price. I was also kind of terrified of having to leave my PC there and some of my parts being either replaced by something that looked the same, but was worse, and I wouldn't notice because I'm stupid and I don't know anything about it, or they would just take my parts, you know? Just, I don't know, fucking take my parts. I was terrified. I was terrified because this PC was expensive. I saved up like 3 years of commissions and Twitch money for it. And I didn't want to lose anything. So at some point, I was talking to Nilowin. I was like, because she saw the announcement that I had made. And she was like, oh my god, what the fuck happened? And I explained it to her. And I told her like, yeah, my files are still on there. And I need to get them off, but I don't know. I need to get my PC into a shop. And she was one of the people I considered asking for help because she has a car and, you know, she's very considerate. And she would definitely not be 100% bothered by it, but I was afraid I would be bothering somebody because, you know, this is such a silly thing. But then she mentioned something. She was like, hey, why don't you put your hard drive in an external case? I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You mean like an external hard disk? I wasn't able to connect that. You know, the PC wouldn't go far enough. It wouldn't start far enough to be able to get the disk, like, to get to the files, to get it onto the external hard disk. She's like, no. There's like a case that is like SATA to USB converting. You can take the hard disk out, you can put it in there, and then connect it to your laptop and take the files off. I was like, that's an option? Like, holy shit. Because, like, that was basically, at this point, the only option I had. The only option I had was take the PC to a shop where they would do basically the same fucking thing to get my files off and reset the PC. So I looked online and I was like, okay, and all these things that I'm talking about, like, go in, like, they happen, like, all through each other. It's one big mesh of events that were happening. So at some point, I looked into it, and I was like, you know what? I looked into the case, and I was like, you know what? I think that's the hard disk. I looked at, like, a specific part. I was like, that looks like a hard disk. I might be able to try and take that out. And if I buy this converter, I will be able to take off the files myself. So I bought the converter while I was at work, not knowing that this was the wrong converter. This was the wrong case. Thankfully, I was talking to Andy later that night. And I told him, like, yeah, I think I know where my hard disk is. So maybe I'm gonna try and take it out. And I was at this point, because he was helping me with, like, command prompts and everything. So I was FaceTiming with him, basically. So I held my phone up to the case and I pointed at it. And I told him, like, yeah, I think that's my hard disk. If I can take that out, I'll be okay. But he was like, that's not your hard disk. I was like, wait, then what is my hard disk? He figured out that I have an SSD M2. I was like, great. Oh, so that's not my hard disk, but that thing is my hard disk. Now I know exactly what to take out. And then the day after that, I was talking to Bobo. Like, basically, Bobo, Rev, Andy, my roommate, and some PC people I was talking to, like, in between, like, interchangeably. I don't know what the word is here. All at the same time. And I was talking to Bobo, like, okay, I'm considering taking out the hard disk myself. And this is where it's very obvious that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because I was talking about a hard disk. And I was calling my SSD a hard disk. Especially in the beginning. I didn't know I had an SSD. I just knew there's a thing on there that's called a hard disk that has all your files. And if you can take that out, you're safe. I was telling Bobo like, hey, I bought this converter, but I'm not sure if the SSD is gonna fit in it because the converter seems so big and the SSD seems very small. And whenever I try to look up on the internet on how to take out a hard disk, people were talking about a hard disk with a SATA connector. I was like, you know, because I was typing in hard disk, not SSD. Because when I was looking it up, I thought I had a hard disk, not an SSD. And so I was talking to Bobo, and he was like, well, it depends if you have a SATA or an NVMe. I was like, what's the difference? Very obviously super tech savvy. I told him like, okay, I showed him the list of parts that I have, and I told him like I have this SSD, an SSD, blah blah blah, M.2, blah 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 blah, and he's like, yeah, that's an NVMe. That's not gonna fit in the SATA to USB converter. Fuck me. That motherfucker cost me $60, and it was already on its way, so I couldn't cancel the purchase that I had done. So I was getting very upset again. In between all these sessions, I got very upset very easily, and I could not relax. Turned out though that because I have an NVMe M2 or an SSD M2, it was probably much easier to take out, because instead of disconnecting the power cord, little power cable, and the SATA cable, all I had to do was unscrew the thing and unscrew it another time because it had like a case on it, and take it out. That was all I had to do. I was like, fuck yeah. So I went online, found another converter for an NVMe SSD. I asked Bobo first before I bought it, like, is this a converter where this specific SSD would be able to fit into? He was like, yes. Thumbs up. Perfect. I'll buy it. It was even cheaper. It was like $25. Still not a happy purchase, but it was a lot cheaper than the other one. So now came the problem of, am I going to take it out? Because at this point it was almost weekend. And I was like, okay, either... because the whole plan was we're gonna try everything with like the recovery screen. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna try and take out the SSD. If that doesn't work, I'm taking the whole case to a shop and I'm giving up. Hi Paka, welcome to the stream. How you doing? So I went, I waited for the package to come in, and I think it was Thursday evening or Friday evening. I'm not sure anymore. It was evening. And I was going to take out the SSD. I called Rev because he offered to like guide me through the hardware in here. Because I had no idea what I could and couldn't touch. So I FaceTimed Rev, and he basically told me step by step like what to do. Which was, first of all, have a screwdriver at the ready. My god, I did not think it would be that hard to find a screwdriver that would fit, because I had it had like it was like a cross, so I was like, I have a tiny cross. Didn't work. I was like, fuck no. It was kind of terrible to take this SSD out, because I tried the screwdriver and it would not grip onto the little screw, even though it was the perfect size. Thankfully I had like a flathead that was also a bit longer, because even though I have tiny hands, according to people, my motherfucking hands would not fit in this space comfortably. Because everything, for some god-awful reason, is crammed into one corner of this case, it feels like. And also the cooling system, the cooling cables, the tubing, was in the way of like the right side of the SSD. I, by God, would not be taking out any of that, because there's liquid cooling in there. I don't know how to take that in or out or fix or whatever the fuck. Eventually, it took a bit, but I got the case off, and the SSD was thankfully easy to take out. I put it in the converter, finally took off my files. Very panicky, might I add, because I was like, oh my god. This was so fucking stressful. I did not want to go into this case for the next 10 years. Here I was, at 4 months, taking out my SSD to save my files. And it worked. I got to the files. I got the most important file off of there. And I was, I think, so relieved that my bowels were like, yeah, it's time to go. If you don't like dirty stories, please don't listen for a moment, because this is gonna be too much information for some people. I got a water cooled too. Yeah, I got it water cooled as well. So I did not, like, that's why I called Rev, because I did not want to do anything wrong where the liquid cooling would also be coming out of the fucking PC and I would, like, ruin the entire thing. But we got it, and I was talking to Rev, and I was showing him, like, the desktop setup, because he was like seeing stuff while I was walking around, because I started walking around because my bowels started to, like, hey, it's time to go. Dude, it's you got like 10 seconds. And I didn't want to be rude to cut him off. I was like, yeah, this is like the setup, and these are like my figurines that were, like, on top of the desk. But the I'm not going into detail. I had to cut him off. And I had to go to the shower to clean some stuff. And then the shower head broke. No. The fucking shower head broke. I was, like, turning on, because I was, like, turning it on, like, real hard. Like, I opened up, like, the faucet. And, like, the tubing of the shower head, like, burst in my face. It was horrendous. I just walked up to my roommates, and at this point it was fucking laughable. You know, I had my file. And all the stress was, like, being expelled from my body, I guess. I told them, like, hey, I got my file. By the way, I shed my pants, and I also broke the shower head. So, while I was working on the SSD, that was still out, by the way, and I needed Rev to get it back in. While he was waiting, I had to fix the motherfucking shower head. And, you know, clean myself up, because, yeah, I shed myself. What else? You know, what else are you gonna do when you expel stress from your body? You have liquid cooling? I have liquid cooling, yeah. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that, you know, when I built this PC, or I guess, because I got help building this PC. Also, the parts, like, choosing the parts wasn't me. Choosing the parts was on recommendation of other people. I was recommended liquid cooling, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, because in the past, I've always had laptops, and I knew that those motherfuckers always get so fucking hot. I was like, I know this is a case, but still, it can get very hot in there, because, you know, it's an enclosed space, even if it has, like, fans in it. I want it to be, I want this PC to run as long as possible without me having to touch it. Isn't that fucking ironic? But okay. So I cleaned myself up, fixed the shower head, went back, called Rev. I was like, hey, so sorry to cut you off. I just shed myself and I broke my shower head, but can we get this SSD back in? Oh, thanks for the fart help, really. Yeah, I basically was like, I gotta go. I'll talk to you in a bit. It was fucking laughable at this point. And he helped me get the SSD back in, which was also very tricky. It was trickier to get it in than to get it out. Isn't that? Yeah. I think while putting it in, I did accidentally push something, Because after fixing the PC, which also is gonna be a little bit of a sub-chapter, because it didn't go so smoothly as you might think. But I did push on something. I didn't think I pushed on it hard. I just leaned my hand on something, because there was really no fucking space to hold everything and to screw everything back in. Eventually, it turned out that one of the HDMI ports that I have is now not working anymore, and it's exactly in the spot where my hand leaned. So I probably leaned too hard and something disconnected. I ain't going back in and fixing it. I got 2 other HDMI ports that work, knock on wood, and no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going in. Because eventually I got this SSD back in. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is it. I'm putting this USB back in, and I'm going to do the full restore. The full delete the files, reinstall Windows 11, and just go. I did that. There was a problem. There was a problem, and it could not reinstall Windows 11, even though I told it was allowed to delete everything and reinstall Windows 11, and it would not reinstall Windows 11. So I showed the picture to Rev, and I told him, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I don't know why it did. You know what's funny? When my roommate was busy with the command prompt, they checked the disk and everything, because at some point they were also trying something and it said there was not enough space. Which was weird, because we could see there was still 1.5 terabyte left. I think 1.6 even. There was 1.6 terabyte left in space. Free space on the SSD. Or at least, quote-unquote, free space. Like, you know, some of the space might be used for something when you start shit up, but it's like not filled to the brim. This is a 2 terabyte SSD. I forgot to mention. 2 terabytes. 1.5 terabyte was still available. Should be, at least. I don't know why it didn't reinstall. I don't know why it didn't delete the files, even though I told it to. But I was tired, and I went to bed. And I asked them, like, hey, could I technically format the computer or the SSD while it's in the computer? Because Rev said, like, I can help you format the SSD right away, but I also didn't want to have it like laying around. I was terrified of something happening to it. So the moment I got it out, I also immediately wanted like back in. So I didn't want to sleep on it and have it like laying around. I wanted back into the computer the same night. I was like, shit, do I gotta take it out? Because they weren't sure if you could format an SSD while it's in the computer and you're only in the command prompt, because you're basically telling the SSD to nuke itself while it's like still busy with nuking itself, which, you know, it's kind of a paradox. I was like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? I got my files. Most of them, at least. I made some mistakes, but we'll get to that. I got my files. Fuck it. I opened the command prompt. At this point, I had seen enough stuff where I was like, hey, if I look up some of the commands, I can do this. I got pretty tech savvy, might I say. I don't know much. If you ask me random shit that nobody else has mentioned, I will have no idea. But I can talk about shit now a little bit. I know some terms, you know. I got a little bit better. So I basically told the SSD to nuke itself. It did. And before I did that, I checked how full it was, because the commands, the thing that I was following said like, okay, you gotta like do this and this. It would show like how much space there's still on the SSD, and then you could tell it to format itself. Weird thing was, remember how I said this was a 2 terabyte SSD? The entire SSD was filled to the brim all of a sudden. I was like, how? I didn't do anything besides trying to install Windows 11. Where in the fuck is Windows 11 1.5 terabyte? What the fuck? So I was like, nuke yourself. Took 2 seconds, which was also weird, because you'd think if there's 2 terabytes of shit on there, it would take longer to format. I formatted shit before with the help of others, and it took ages. This was 2 seconds, and it was gone. I was like, how is that possible? Gata, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Windows 11,000. Yeah, exactly. That was fucking insane. I don't know if Windows 11 retains it, but command prompt does let you access a format command. A lot of old Microsoft Word, Excel macro malware would use it to format your C disk and floppy drives. Yeah, so I was able to go into the command prompt and basically I was able to format the SSD through the command prompt. And it would do it immediately. And I was like, you know what? Try and do a full clean install. This would mean I would have to set back up 100% everything. But at this point, I was so tired of this shit. It was already a week. I was tired. My roommate was tired. Other people probably also got like tired and stressed because they couldn't help me. And I was just ready to get my PC back. And it worked. I reinstalled Windows 11. And it worked. I did have to set everything like back up, so it didn't have anything. Discord, Firefox wasn't on there, you know, Steam, VTube Studio, nothing. It was basically, here's a new PC. That was it. So I also lost all of the things that I had set up in Firefox because no, I do not make what's it called? They're like, oh, you can make like a profile and you can like import it, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I never do that. I don't want to log into shit always and everywhere. Maybe I should have done that. Yeah. But I didn't. So I lost all like the bookmarks and shit that I had on there as well. I have to reset that up. I've done part of it. It's not perfect, but it works. Props to you, Rumi, for helping you too. My roommate has been an absolute fucking mad lad. Like, big thanks. I was gonna say F in the chat, but that's for failing. What do we put in chat for the absolute fucking mad lad that saved me? Because it was because I saw them doing all the command prompts that I kind of learned what sort of worked and what didn't and what meant what. Like, they had to look up stuff as well, but they knew what sort of what the terms meant. I didn't even know, you know? Thank you for the hydrate. Reformat and reinstall is the nuclear option. It's reliable but destructive. And that's basically everything that we followed was giving this entire list of things to follow. Like, if this doesn't work, do this. If this doesn't work, do this. If this doesn't work, do this. If this doesn't work, you're fucked and you need to basically nuke your shit. And that's what we had to do. W in chat for the roommate, because it's because of them that I learned shit and that I knew how to format the fucking SSD. W in chat for Bobo, Rev, Andy, for getting on calls with me and being on Discord, trying to help me the best they could, and being everybody, because my roommate said this as well. They were like, I'm not able to help you. I haven't fixed the computer and I feel really bad about it. And I was like, don't feel bad. This is Microsoft's fault. They gave me a faulty update. They bricked my computer because it was because of the update. It was not because somebody did something wrong, you know? And despite not being able to fix the computer right away, I got so much help. I felt so supported, and I wasn't able to express that because I was overwhelmed, I was overstimulated, and the problem was I basically lost my coping mechanism because this PC is everything. My computer is my everything. My computer is the thing that I go to when I'm stressed, when I'm tired, when I'm angry, when I'm sad. It's got all the things on it that I do to regulate myself. I draw, I listen to music, and I talk to friends. And I could still sort of do those things. But with the desktop being here and being broken, that's just it was such a sore. It was basically just a fucking somebody stuck their thumb in my eye and was basically saying like, "Ah, but you still got like, you know, you still got the old laptop to work with." Still, like, it did work. If I didn't have the laptop, I think I would have gone insane. I think I would have I think then I would have actually been an absolutely horrendous person to be around. I was already not great to be around. I really have to admit. And I have to apologize for that. I had a very short fuse. I cried. I got angry a lot. I shat myself. I puked even from the stress. I didn't even mention that yet. At some point, I was really not feeling well. I had a panic attack. And my roommate was like, hey, like, you really don't look okay. Do you want to go, like, sit near the toilet? And, like, that question alone, like, I was not able to regulate myself. And, like, masking was gone. Because usually, if somebody asks me, like, to do something that I don't want to do, I'll be like, oh, no, that's okay, you know? Just, no, that's fine. I'll be able to handle it. But my reaction was, like, full-on panic. Like, no, I don't, like, I can't even replicate how I reacted. It was that fucking anxious, and it was that fucking raw of an emotion that I can't replicate it. But I was terrified. Not many people know this. I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I'm actually very much terrified of puking. I do not have a great time with any experience of puking, seeing people puke. And I didn't think I would have, like, what's it called? The phobia to see or hear vomit. But the thought of having to puke really fucking scared me, because I am terrified of choking. And I was terrified of the, like, my brain just had the idea of, if you vomit, you could aspirate. And because I already had, like, in the past, I've already had an experience where my throat suddenly, like, closed up because I was eating, like, a candy bar. A teeny tiny piece went into, like, the wrong hole, and suddenly my throat was like, nah, we ain't doing this. This was probably just a stress reaction from me. But I'm not 100% sure, because when I called into the doctors, they were like, no, you gotta do a COVID test first, because this was in the period of time of COVID. And I was like, first of all, no. Second of all, what the fuck? Third of all, that doesn't make any sense, because the reaction was like in a split second. It wasn't allergic. It wasn't an allergic reaction, but it was like a spasm, but like full throat close up. In my mind, that was just like gonna happen if I vomited, if I puked. So what do you do? Oh, okay. No, I don't want this music. I want happy music. Happy music while we talk about shitting myself and puking. Emetophobia, that's the one. Oh, this is starting halfway. No thanks. Puking is generally not a great time, so also very understandable. Yeah, and I haven't puked in like 20 years, easily. So my brain, like, ever since I was diagnosed with like an anxiety disorder, it's not easy to deal with anything that scares you. But at this point, I was like, I think already for half an hour, I was really not feeling well. And my roommate was actually staying with me, because I was like constantly like slowly like slumping forwards. And I kept telling myself, like, it's fine, it's okay, I'm gonna feel better in a minute, I just ate something wrong, it's gonna be okay. But I kept slumping forward further and further, and I kept losing like strength in my legs. And at some point I was like almost completely putting my weight all onto them. which was a very clear indication to them that it was not going well. And so they had gotten a bucket. I was like, that's fine, as long as you don't put me like near the toilet. Because for some reason my brain was like, if you're gonna sit in front of the toilet, you're gonna puke. And if you're gonna puke, you're gonna aspirate. And if you're gonna aspirate, you're gonna choke. And if you're gonna choke, you're gonna die. Insane, isn't it? But hey, that's why they call it an irrational fear. And yeah, that was the train of thought. And at some point I was like, not feeling well, that when they asked if I wanted to go lay down in bed, I was like, I don't think I have the strength to like get there. Like I was that fucking floppy. I was noodle armed. I was noodle legged. Everything was noodle. It's an impressive length of time. It was a very long time. I think if I had just given in and puked, it wouldn't have taken this long. But I was like so headstrong and I ain't gonna puke. I ain't gonna puke. I'm not gonna do it. It's easier over time, but it sucks if it helps. You usually need to have really compromised swallowing for that to happen. Well, and I do have a little bit of a problem with like swallowing sometimes. When I have intense anxiety, I have problem like swallowing my medication as well. Sorry to lurk, but I gotta have a shower. Be right back. Okie dokie. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And at some point I had to go to the toilet, not to like puke, but like I thought I had to go just normally to the toilet. So I was sitting on the toilet with their help. And I was sitting there just thinking like, okay, yeah, I feel like I really want to lay down. Like I was getting really tired. Really fucking tired. I was like, can you please help me to bed? Like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to sleep. And just lay down. Because like my head was getting really fucking heavy. And so they took me to my bed. And I was sitting there. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna lay down. And I'm gonna like go to bed. I'm gonna sleep. And it's gonna be gone in the morning. Thank this motherfucker for having that bucket ready. Because the moment I like turned on my Z-axis, I started going. And if that bucket wasn't there, I would have hit the curtain with fucking pasta water and cheese and shit that came out. Oh my god, it came out of my motherfucking nose. Like, holy shit. It was so bad that apparently I stressed one of my cats out. And they started puking. I was sitting there with the bucket. I was holding the bucket because my roommate was like, okay, I'm gonna grab another bucket so I can like switcheroonie the two. Because like it, you know, it's vomit, it's stanky. I was holding that bucket, but I was like not secure yet. So I told them to like not go yet. And while I tried to steady myself, I heard one of the cats like right next to me go like, I'm like, oh no. In a fucking corner where I can't reach it. I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I kept apologizing. I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. It was so not great. Pasta pieces and shit came out of my nose. It was horrendous. But I have to say, little silver lining. The puking was not as bad as I was scared of it to be. So, you know, that was, you know, I don't want to do it ever again, but yeah, based. When it goes, and some people don't understand. You need an actual bucket. You know, the thing is, I was a little bit nauseous here and there, but the thing that was, that I was feeling most was just feeling dizzy, feeling lightheaded, and like losing like the muscle strength. I was a little bit nauseous, but actually the moment I puked, I wasn't feeling nauseous. Which was weird. I don't really understand what was happening, but my roommate later told me that I was very slumped over. So I was probably also, because I just ate, and because I was probably having a panic attack, and I was like slumping over so much, I was probably pressing on my stomach way too fucking much. That the moment there was like a release, you know, everything came out. Thankfully, I didn't puke too much for too long. It was like 2 goes and then it was done. And I was like, you know what, give me a towel, leave the new bucket next to the bed. And I went for a sleep. I was like, I'm going to bed. I actually felt a lot better. At the moment I slept for like an hour, I was actually doing much better. But that's the first time I had puked in like 20 years. Because of the amount of stress and shit that was going on. And it was just, it was a horrendous experience. I never want to do this again. If ever there's gonna be a Windows update, it's gonna break my PC. I am going to wherever the fuck the person that writes this code is, and I'm going to murder you. For legal purposes, that is a joke, but I will come and find you. And you're not gonna have a house anymore. It was a horrendous experience. And I was so very happy to have my PC back. That I was like, oh my god, I can set everything up real quickly and I can stream at the end. Like I think everything was like, when was this? When was this? I think I tried to stream like right before the weekend, but then it turned out that my OBS scenes could not be imported. Funny thing was that I actually, right before my PC got bricked, I had actually made an export of my OBS scenes. So I was like, oh great, so I don't have to set back up the OBS files and everything. I can just import the scene. But it didn't. I don't know why, but it just would not react. So I was like, oh no. I have to set OBS back up from scratch. And VTube Studio. And all the other shit, like, and I had to apologize. I was too eager to get back, and I was too excited, and I jumped to conclusions, and I had to like apologize and say like, okay, I gotta take the weekend and set everything back up as best as I can and take my time with it before I can get back to streaming. Which we are now here. I have set back up mostly everything, and we're back. That was it. That was the whole horrible story of how Microsoft ruined my 4-month-old PC. And I had to fix it with a lot of stress. It's not an uncommon stress reactions. Sounds like it. 2 days or 3 days my PC was down when the power supply... What, your power supply exploded? What the fuck? Holy shit. Damn. Yeah, when I was turning back on the PC, at first I thought the Wacom was broken because I had the Wacom in the HDMI port that is now broken, or at least disconnected. It might not be broken because I tried to look things up because I was like, okay, what's going on here? I switched around the Wacom and my screen because I use the Wacom as a screen and I have like a second screen. I was like, okay, let's switch them around to see if the Wacom is actually broken. Thankfully, the Wacom wasn't broken, because that would mean I had to save up a lot of money to get back my drawing tablet. But thankfully, it wasn't broken. But the HDMI port was broken. I was like, okay, how the fuck did the HDMI port get broken? Because what the heck? And people online were like, okay, yeah, it could probably it could have had a surge or something, but then there would be like black residue in there, and I was like, there's nothing in there. And then I remembered it's like behind the thing that I had slightly pushed, and I was like, oh, I might have disconnected something by that and it was like 1 second. That teeny tiny push that I did has probably disconnected something, and now the HDMI port and like the upper corner is unusable until I open up the case and fix it, which I am not gonna do. It went pop really loudly and emitted a puff of smoke. Holy shit. Which it took it on the chin, then went pop again louder with more smoke and stopped working. Did that just happen randomly? Holy shit. I would have been absolutely terrified if smoke came out of my PC after a loud pop. It was super awkward because I had a pair of cops there for a welfare check after leaving my ex-wife. Holy shit. Oh my god, and did it? That could have sounded like something else. Oh no. I was like 8 and 9 years old at that point. Damn. I don't know the normal life expectancy of a power supply for a normal desktop, but I am severely hoping that for the next 10 years, this desktop doesn't have anything problematic where I have to open it up. My god, it's... Oh, oh my god. But yeah, that's all what happened. My motherboard and CPU are 15 this year. Damn. Have they been 15 years in use as well? Like, no breaks? Damn. Yeah, this was the worst week that I've had this year. There's always something in the beginning of the year that tries to ruin my time. Oh my god. You know, and I always try to be positive. Because, like, at the beginning of the year, it's cold, it's clammy, it's not clammy, it's cold, it's wet, there's ice, there's hail, there's rain. All the leaves are gone. I had just started this new job as well, this year, actually. For those who don't know, I just started a new job in December. And, I had 3 co-workers. One of which left at the end of January, or like halfway through January. Another one was sick for like at least a month, and then not got fired. They quit, and then not too long after, the last one went on a sick leave for a while. So I was alone at work for quite a while. That was on a place that was actually a multiple people team. So aside from that, I was dealing with this. I was like, oh, please, I don't know what I did that I deserve this, but can the universe please give me a fucking break? Cause like, damn, boy, this is insane. Yep, no issues. It's a little Theseus ship at this point. Damn. That must have been weird, yeah. Yeah, this whole situation. This whole situation was weird. If there's anything I can give as advice is transfer your shit to Linux. That's what I'm gonna do. The whole reason why I haven't put Linux on this computer right from the get-go is because I have no idea about Linux. I know there's like several versions that has like a specific name that I keep forgetting. And there are some that work very similarly to Windows. But I have never seen anything of that. So I was like, I'm gonna set everything up with Windows 11. And in the meantime, I'm gonna save up some money for a cheap laptop. Because I am also not gonna use the old laptop. That was my original idea. My original idea was that I would set everything over to the desktop, empty the laptop, put Linux on the laptop, and start to learn Linux this year. I'm so glad I didn't do that, because that laptop was now the backup for my desktop. Because I did not make a desktop backup yet, because the motherfucker was only 4 months old. I didn't think I needed a backup yet for this one now. But I'm gonna save up money for a cheap laptop, and I'm gonna put Linux on it, and I'm gonna learn Linux because I'm going over. It's gonna take a while because I am not that great with learning new stuff, and not because I'm stupid. I am a little stupid, but also I'm just very stubborn. I have only ever had Windows PCs, you know? In my 33 years of living, I have only ever used Windows PCs. I only know how Windows works. I don't even know how Mac works. So, by God, I don't know how Linux works. But I am going to learn, because this This was the cherry on top of the shit pile. I'm gonna ask you to set up a Linux install on external media, because booting Linux from a USB stick was what I used to extract all the important files off the old PC when it died. You know, the positive of this all is that I now know how to take out the SSD, and I have the converter. So if anything like this happens, and I swear to the fucking universe it better fucking not, but if anything happens, I know what to do. I can save my files if nothing happens to the SSD. But I am going to learn how Linux works, and I am going over as far as I can. I don't know if there's a Linux version that lets you do everything that I do with like drawing and streaming and everything. I hope there is. I'm going to learn Linux. I didn't think I would do this so quickly. But I'm gonna. Because Microsoft, you're a bitch. You're a fucking little bitch. And I hope you get raw dogged in the ass. Without lube. With a cactus. The size of your fucking mother's asshole. Because this is insane. They bricked my 4-month-old PC. And I had to fix it my fucking self. Like, it's insane. Jesus Christ. You know, the funny thing is, when I reinstalled Windows without formatting the SSD at first, because it gave me that option. When I stuck in the USB, it told me like, oh, you can install Windows 11. This will delete your files, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that's fine. I got my files. Just reinstall it. It asked me for a key, a product key, which I had because apparently I never activated my Windows. I was like, okay, so I still got a Windows key, a product key. I used it and then it failed the installation. I was like, but I'm now not sure if I can use the product key anymore. So when I formatted the SSD, reinstalled Windows, and it asked me for the product key, I used the product key that previously failed. Guess what it said? It's like, this product key is blah, 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 blah. You can't use it. I'm like, motherfucker! What are you talking about? It's a new fucking product key that you said that you failed. How is that fair? Paka, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the raid. Let me give you a shout out for the fluffiest boy, who actually, not too long ago, also completely built their own PC. They did what I didn't dare to. Buying all the parts, having the case. I'm not sure if he bought a case, but he had a case and he put everything in there himself. Like, holy shit. Welcome to the stream, everybody. My name is Marley Gremlin. I'm a Venus Flytrap Alien Vtuber. Doing a slight rebrand later this year, but we're still gonna be Alien and Flytrap. Partially. And today, I am finally back after a week of having a broken PC because Windows fucked up my PC with a Windows update. Ironic, isn't it? But I fixed it, and now we're back. And we were talking about that because it was an absolute hell story. Oh, how was stream though? How was stream? You're building a second PC? My man, where are you getting all that money? I need some money, and I need some of that. Thank you for the hydrating the stretch. Were you guys building the PC right now, or were you doing something else? Yeah, I was watching you build that PC and I was like, oh my god, I was so afraid to do that. I like paid somebody in the store to build my PC for me because I didn't dare to, and I was talking to him about it, and then this motherfucking shit happened and I had to take the SSD out. Oh my god. Just taking the SSD out was already stressful enough that I shat my pants and puked. Great. Lovely story. If this doesn't make me famous, I don't know what will. Maybe some titty pics. I was doing Shogun. How was it? Did you guys have fun? Oh, and for those who came along, grab a snacky, hydrate yourself, go to the toilet, or if you need to take a rest, please do so. We like you being here, but we like it even more if you take care of yourself. You too, Paka. If you gotta rest, you gotta rest. Do some after stream care. Wild story. Yeah, you missed the part where I explained how I actually also puked. Because of like a panic attack and this whole shit going on. And I was really unwell. I was like, yeah. Roommate for the win again in that particular era with their bucket and everything. I was lurking, but I didn't hear it. It's quite the story. It was a horrible experience this last week. Oh my god. This weekend was fine again though. This weekend was actually fine. Oh boy. I was really not doing well. Like emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. Paka, thank you so much for subscribing. 12 months, holy shit. Wait, why is one of that emote going differently? What the hell? Story is told, no need to relive. Peeps can watch the VOD, time to rest. Yeah, I don't really want to explain again how I ended up puking, because it was... For those who have emetophobia, the moment you hear me talk about puke, just skip that entire part, because I get quite graphic. But yeah. Hello? Mimi? I hear Bammy, but I don't see Bammy. But yeah, it was quite awful. It was a horrible experience, and I hope it never happens again. For those who also have Windows 11, make your backups. Make your backups and be ready to lose everything that you love on that PC. Because that's what happened to me. It was a horrible experience, but it's now over, thankfully. I set up mostly everything. I haven't set up all the models on here yet still. I do have the Tama version. Let's see. I do have this one. Unfortunately, this was also made with a backup. And I don't have the motion file anymore. The physics file where the antenna move when I smile. So I still gotta fix that. Some files got corrupted on the laptop, unfortunately, because I set back the time a year. And it would not open some of the animations. Even when I put the time back or moved the files to the PC, they were just fucked. They were just fucked, unfortunately. So I noticed that this one is not as reactive yet. So I still have to work. I still have to play around with the perimeters. But I'm glad I have mostly everything back. I have everything. I've saved everything on Google Drive. Funny enough, speaking of Google Drive, it's not Google Drive, but I had OneDrive. I was setting up the PC and it asked me like, hey, do you want the option to make automatic backups on OneDrive? I was like, you know what? Yes, I do, because at least then I don't make the mistake of forgetting to make backups, and I will have everything if this ever happens again. Apparently, you only get 5 gigabytes, and within a day, my OneDrive was full. And I didn't even have everything on there yet. I had so many files that were not on there. And just... it was fucked. And it basically told me like, oh, do you want to upgrade your the amount that you can store? I'm like, no, because then I have to buy a subscription, which I'm not gonna do, motherfucker. But also, I couldn't turn this fucker back off. And it would constantly connect and reconnect and try to re-upload. So much so that it went over the limit and told me I couldn't do anything until I got more storage. I was like, I ain't buying more storage. Just motherfucking turn it off. And even the only option to turn it off that I could find didn't work. So I was like, you know what? Delete this motherfucker. I had to uninstall the app to get rid of OneDrive. And then it took me a while to get OneDrive empty. And just... I think the Space God's Noodle Tamagotchi model is still alive. It's still alive and we can still do this. I did try to put the streamer bot on this PC so we can have the head increase redeem again. Like where it increases in steps with like the channel point redeem. But I have to ask Bobo because it's not connecting to my VTube studio. So I'm not sure what's wrong. But thank fuck I have backups of my models and shit because holy fucking ball sacks. After my SSD short circuit that was on Windows 10. Wait, your SSD short circuited? How did you do that? Also, I didn't check the other clip. What clip did you make? Oh my god, my neck is broken in there. I've never seen that before. Holy shit. Wow, okay. I just broke my entire neck. I didn't even know that my neck was like... I didn't even know it was not connected there if I moved it that far. Because I never move it that far. Damn. Power surge. Oh my god, now I have a new fear. I have so many fears. Stop giving me anxiety! What is this clip? And he helped me getting this. He helped me get the SSD back in, which was also very tricky. It was trickier to get it in than to get it out. Isn't that? Yeah. I think while putting it in. Oh. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Oh, damn, that sucked though. Holy shit. Was it like your new SSD? Like from the computer that you recently built? Cause like... did this happen when the PC was on or off? Cause like... I had the habit of being paranoia of anything being stuck in a wall socket and possibly exploding. So I have the habit of turning everything off and disconnecting everything, like unplugging everything. I unplug like my my laptop. I turned off because the laptop and like the desktop are in like one of those blocks that you put into the wall socket. So I turn off the entire block. I unplug everything aside from like my dishwasher and my fridge in the kitchen. I unplug like chargers from my phone. Not only mine, but also my roommates, which is very fucking annoying for them. I unplug everything. And I've only not done that in like the last, I think, month or so, for the PC at least. Because I found out that apparently the motherboard has like some kind of battery. And if it's not connected, if it's not like in a wall socket, that it's like, it's not getting... Like basically, if the power is not on, there's not like a teeny tiny constant little current that's keeping the motherboard like alive. So it has like this battery in it that when there's like a power outage, the battery pops in or like turns on and your motherboard doesn't forget everything. I was like, okay, but I had heard that that battery is only good for so long. And I was like, okay, but if I'm gonna like turn off my computer all the time, then that battery is gonna get drained very fucking quickly, because I turn it off like the moment I don't use the PC. I turned off like the wall socket block thing. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna leave that on. But now I'm terrified of having a power surge and my fucking computer breaking. My old CPU gave wrong info to the PSU. I don't know what a PSU is, but I'll figure that out. And it got a bit too much power to the SSD. Oh, I don't know what that means, but it sounds scary. I usually try to buy a surge protector on my power outlet, because that's a very scary thought. Yeah. Holy shit. Button cell for the BIOS. Mine's been dead for ages. The BIOS date is in 2011. Oh my god. Oh, the power supply unit is what exploded on your PC. I don't know how secure mine is. PSU is short for piss shock. Mayo! Thank you so much for the buddies. Delicious fuel cells. This one's Baja Blast flavored. Don't eat my fuel cells. Stop touching anything that's electronic. But welcome to the stream. Usually those cells last years. They consume so little power. Yeah, but they what I figured, or what I thought, was they consume so little power because, or at least how the video explained it, they consume so little power because if your computer is constantly connected into a wall socket, it will constantly have like a teeny tiny current. And so you don't have to worry about that cell using its power unless you have like a power outage, or like you take it out of the wall socket and you move the computer. But I was doing that every day for hours on end, because I would unplug my PC the moment I went to work. And until I got back and turned on my PC would like be off power like 100%. And I was afraid that if I kept doing that I would ruin that little battery cell way more quickly. And I was like, oh, and I'm not gonna know anything about this, and I'm not gonna recognize the problem, and I'm gonna basically have the same problem where the battery is gonna get fucked, and my motherboard's gonna get fucked, and then everything's gonna get fucked, and I lose everything. I mean, I turned mine off at the wall every night, and it lasted like 5 to 6 years. Yeah, and apparently they're supposed to last you 10 years at least. So... So I don't know. I don't know what's best anymore. I just know I don't want to ever have this happen ever again. It would have been off the entire time I was at school, or 6th form. Yeah, for me too. When I go to work, like my entire PC would just be off. Oh, I got a burp. Oh, never mind. Mine might not have been a lithium ion. It's old enough. That's fair. That's fair. That might also be one of the reasons. Need a power surge protector. So is the power surge protector something you plug into the wall and then plug your PC into? Is it like an in-between thing? Or is it something you put inside the PC? Is it a part into the PC? Okay, so it's for in the wall socket. Is it one of those blocks? Like with more connections? It's like a power bank. Okay, so I don't think I have that. I have everything like because I only have like 2 wall sockets where I'm sitting right now. I have like an extension cord with like a block that has like 6 more connections to put anything in. But that's all I have. I don't think I have a power surge protector. That's, before we're gonna save up money for that cheap Linux laptop, I am going to get some money for a power surge protector. If the power goes out, it's like a power bank. If the power goes out, you can save the data, or if there is a power surge in the line. Often extension cables will have surge protectors, but I think what Paka's talking about is a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply. Usually some power boards can have fuses in them too. So I might be okay. I might be okay. It's not one of the oldest power blocks. It's not one of the newest, so... Tav! Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yum, 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 yum. Why am I getting petted for so long? I mean, I'm not complaining, but it was supposed to turn off. Oh, that's because this is the other model and I hadn't set the timer. Well, it's a good thing we now switched to this model, so that's also fixed now. It's a never-ending pet. I never told the redeems to turn off after a certain amount of time. Oh my god. Oh, itchy. Oh, how's it going, Tav? How's it going, Lulu? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the head pads as well. Basically, it's a big battery bank that switches very quickly and maintains power if the grid supply wavers, surges, or hits the bed entirely. Yeah, no, I don't have that one. That's something I will have to look into, and that actually sounds like something I would like to have because, ooh, I am. After this entire shit week with the broken PC, thanks to Windows, I wanna just put it out there that this was not me. I did not break this PC. It was Windows, 100%. It was the Windows update. Motherfucking Windows update broke my PC. I didn't touch shit. Teams is quiet. Okay, so we gotta fix that. We gotta fix the Teams. I also didn't hear it that much, no. Marley, hope you're doing well. I'm doing much better now that my PC is fixed. Oh my god. Took almost an entire week to get this baby back up and running. But we did it. Thank you for the hydrate. It's going okay. Mostly just chilling with my kitties. How are you, dear? I'm better. I'm not 100% yet because my bowels are still very much upset. I've had a lot of stomach pains, a lot of bowel spasms and stabbings, but I'm doing better now that the PC is up and running and I have everything mostly set back up to normal. It's I can finally relax. My roommate can finally relax because, man, I was a bitch. Oh my god, somebody pooped. Who pooped? Oh, Beam took a dookie. Oh, stanky. Ultimately, the PSU should have a fuse that'll fail before the PC does. Mine has taken like 10 to 15 power cuts in the last 3 to 6 months alone. Our power supply has been having issues here and there. That's quite some issues, yeah. Holy shit. Good to hear your PC is fixed. It is, yeah, it is. Oh, I was so happy. I was so happy that I got it like up and running again. That I was too eager to start streaming, and I was like saying in the server like, "Oh my god, we're gonna try and stream tomorrow, meh." We did not end up streaming because Marty was too eager. I was way too eager. But we did it. We did it. I learned that I also need to find another coping mechanism that's not on my computer, which is probably not gonna be soon because I have been using my computer for coping for very long. Very long, you know? I have mangas. I have older consoles, you know, handhelds, and like I still got a Switch one. It wasn't like I got nothing to do and I wasn't bored. I was just very stressed. But I want to thank everybody for being patient, being so fucking patient, for your sweet words in the server, for the people offering help, for the people who helped me, because at some point I had so many people talking to me that I have to apologize also a little bit, because at some point there were some people that offered me help, like, hey, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to hit me up and like DM me. For example, ISO. But at that point I had like 6 people talking to me, and because it was like people that have no contact with each other, I did get a lot of like the same questions, and I had to explain with my very, very not tech-savvy brain. I had to explain, for example, to Bobo what my roommate had already done, and I had to like explain to my brother what my roommate had already done, and my roommate what Bobo was saying, and to Bobo what Rev was was advising, and not the other way around, and what Andy had figured out with me. And oh my god, there was so many things, and at some point I was like, I couldn't talk to more people because I was so overwhelmed, and I was tired, and I was stressed. And I do want to say I am so thankful for everybody who offered their help, who was able to help, because even if we didn't fix the PC right away, it was thanks to everybody that I was able to learn. Most of all, I learned a lot of shit. I'm not tech savvy at all, but I did end up learning. I did end up taking out the SSD, getting my files back, putting back the SSD, and format my own PC and reinstall Windows, and we got the PC back up and running. Even though it wasn't like one person who fixed the PC, it was the combined effort of everyone and the support that made it so I got this PC back up. And I'm so very thankful for that. Don't be sorry for not volunteering to help, because it's, you know what, don't be sorry, because it's okay, it's been a rough week on my end, and that's okay. Some people indeed have their own shit going on. Some people wanted to help, and they, as me, don't know much about PC, so even though they wanted to help, they couldn't. And even the people who could weren't able to get it up and running right away. Which wasn't... how do I say this? I wasn't mad that was the case. I'm so very happy that I got all the support. And I've never blamed anyone, like... Not a moment in like... This entire week was I like, oh my god, you weren't able to fix it with this command. Like, no. I'm so very happy. I'm so very grateful. Captain Roman, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the biddies. Get support, nerd. I love support. I got so much support, by just people being there as well. Just talking about it in the server, venting about it. And people making jokes with me. And making me feel better by just being there, Having this lovely community. Like, just... Oh! Mwah! There. You are loved. Yeah. And that was it. I am very terrible at saying thank you and compliments and shit. So I hope this was enough. Oh, does this mean we can continue to arson ship? Please give me a week of rest. That's all I ask. Please wait until after next weekend. I have to say I got a lot of files back, and I worked a bunch on the rebrand this weekend. And I'm so excited. I made some really cool looking backgrounds as well. Oh, it's so good. So good. And Andy too. Andy's working on my 3D model. I'm not sure if it's gonna be like, actually, now that I think about it, because he's modeling it. He's not sure if he is going to rig it, so I might commission someone to rig it, because at first I was like, oh, I want to learn Blender as well. I'll try and rig it myself. But especially after this, I was like, yeah, no, maybe I'll just ask somebody. Maybe I'll just commission somebody to help me rig it because I'm tired. I'm tired of learning new stuff. But actually, I'm not sure what program I need to puppeteer a 3D model. Because I don't have a headset. Like, I don't have a VR headset. Does anybody know if you can just use a webcam for a 3D model? Do I need a special program for it? I assume I can't put it in VTube Studio. But I actually don't know what program I need to use for it. You're also loved, Molly. Well, thank you. You can rest that ass on my fan. By the sound of it, rest is best before doing something big, if that makes sense. Yeah. And at this point, I'm working on the rebrand. Actually, I got somebody waiting to start a commission, and now that I'm actually ready to like turn everything off the wait list. So I need to contact people that wanted to commission me. I'm starting to be ready for that again. So I don't have time for Blender, man. I want to make that comic as well. I don't got time for Blender. Actually, Tav, you have a 3D model, right? What do you use for programs for it? How do you puppeteer your 3D model? And might I just say, that 3D model is looking absolutely fucking cute. It's a cutie patootie. Ah. I think full or half body stuff needs VR tracking, but there are other options that use webcam stuff similar to 2.5D stuff. So it's a chibi model. I don't need to move the entire body around because I was kind of hoping that it would be rigged. How do I say this? I kind of hope that it can be rigged and it will just move with like head movements. It doesn't need to like move off the spot. It can just move on the spot, if you know what I mean. I use VC Face and now I'm using something called Verudo. So do you just use a webcam or do you use something else fancy? Because I only have a webcam, and if I need a VR setup, first of all, I don't have the space. Second of all, I don't have the money. Oh my god. Can't require too much in the way of investment because you see a lot of smaller creators using it. Yeah, that's why I'm actually curious. I'll have to look up what Verudo is because I don't have that. I've never used it, and I don't really... I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about it. But yeah, so we're actually working on a bunch of stuff. We have a chibi 3D model, which is in a cute low poly style. That's in the works. I'm working on the big rebrand model. I'm working on a Tamagotchi, like this version that I have of a rebrand model. And I'm also making a Labubu version, of course. And the big model will also have Mavis. I am contemplating of also making a small Mavis Tamagotchi version. But at this point, I'm working on so much shit, man. Oh my god. I used to use a webcam and it worked decently. However, I got an iPhone 15. I use as a webcam now for face tracking. Damn. Well, if a webcam works decently, I think I'll first try that out before I ever try anything like an iPhone, because I've actually never even used an iPhone. Using a 3D model, right? What's your setup for that? Any suggestions, or am I misremembering? Was Paka using? I don't think I've ever seen Paka use a 3D model. Yeah, use VTube Studio. Maybe he had in the past. I don't know. Let me actually make a note of that, Verudo. I'm gonna look into that. Notes. Verudo. Rudo for a 3D model. Okay. Only bought it as a webcam for streaming. Lol, just an Android as my usual phone. Oh yeah, I would not switch to iPhone. Because I am an autistic piece of shit. I'm used to Samsung, so I'll keep using Samsung. Unless Samsung suddenly does an update and it bricks my fucking phone. Guess that's the best kind of compliment. Wait, you thought the model that I made is 3D? Oh shit. I must be doing something right indeed. So yeah, that's all. That's it. That was the story of the broken PC, stressed Marley, and the files that I'm now working on. I've been drawing this week or this weekend, and I've been very happy with my art style, and that actually, I don't know, that for some reason has helped me so much. I was drawing and I lost some of the backgrounds that I was working on. Thankfully, I had sent screenshots of it to Andy, so I was able to take those screenshots off of Discord and kind of continue working on them. I had to like erase some stuff because some things were translucent, and when you make a screenshot, it becomes like solid. So I had to like delete some stuff, but thankfully a lot of it was saved because of that as well. Also got a new logo, very hyped about it. Ooh, I want to see. Actually, I've also been thinking of like what, because my logo is really old and I don't really use it anywhere. Bij me, niet zeuren. Hey. Psst. Nee, niet zeuren. Kom hier. And I've actually that's one of the things that I haven't really tried, but I've been thinking of trying to make a logo. I've made some attempts, but not really. I don't know how to say it. I've just been doodling and shit. Nothing's too serious, but like, I kind of want a logo. But that's the least of my problems. Then again, I don't really have problems right now, which is kind of nice. Well, not too big of problems. Well, that's something that felt more VTuber styled. Yeah, me too. Cause like mine is just like my name written out with a fancy pen and some colors. And I was like, oh, maybe I should have something more recognizable, you know? Like something fancier than just grab this pen and fire alpaca and write your name. Like, you have like the big logos where they use the name, but like the name is all like, it's all stylized, like super stylized. Maybe something like that. Or maybe a little logo with like a little tiny face that's just like the Discord logo, you know? It doesn't say Discord, but you just know that's Discord when you see that logo. Oh my god, baby, did you take a poo as well? Jesus Christ, it fucking stinks in here. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Disgusting!
Yeah, it's really fucking stanky. Let me actually take my meds while we're at it. So, for tomorrow, we're actually going back to gaming. On the schedule, I had put Repo and Lethal Company, but that's mostly because I am not sure if Repo is gonna work. I don't know if anybody else has had these long loading times. I don't know if it's because I'm hosting and there's something wrong with my connection, my internet connection. So I kind of want to try and see if Repo works tomorrow. If it doesn't, I might want to try and see if the loading screen is still atrocious when somebody else is hosting. But just in case Repo just absolutely fucking sucks, I put Lethal Company on there because I just need a brainless game I just want a brainless game and play with just some shits and giggles, you know? Oh. Oh yeah. Jesus. I remember you getting pretty pissed at Repo last time. Yeah, and funny enough, when I had the PC finally back up and running, I think I asked Storm, Red, Andy, and Rickrow to play Repo. And Red was the only one, I think, that was ready to join. So we tried playing Repo, but every time I would get that long-ass loading screen. And the moment it finally loaded in, Red would be gone. And this happened like 3 or 4 times until I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. Oh, and I don't know, like when we were playing it that Friday, like right before my PC broke, by the way, we had like the long ass loading screens, and some people got booted sometimes, but after like a retry, it usually would work, and it wouldn't, like last time I tried to play it with Red. Storm, welcome to the stream. How you doing? What's the story, Plantuk? The story is a Windows update broke my PC, where I would get so the summary is, I had a Windows update. It fucked with the driver from my Wacom. The driver wouldn't get fixed with the Wacom program, so I re-downloaded it from a secure site where I always get it, because this had happened before, and I had re-downloaded it, and it had always been fine. We played on stream. I turned off the PC. Next day, PC was broken. Said there was a problem. Started up to desktop. Would screen tear and say there's a problem, and turn back off. Almost an entire week, I had several people helping me with all kinds of shit to try and fix this PC. And everything pointed towards the operating system being corrupt. Because a lot of options wouldn't work, a lot of options wouldn't help, and I was forced to either take my PC into a shop or take out the SSD myself. I made some mistakes here and there. I ordered the wrong converter, for example, because I thought I had a hard disk at first, but I didn't. So at first I ordered a converter that had a SATA to USB converter, but that was useless because I had an SSD M2 that is an NVMe connection and not a SATA. So I sent the other one back actually. I bought another converter, got the SSD out, thankfully under with Rev, under while FaceTiming Rev to help me tell me what I can and cannot touch. Got my files, shed my pants, broke the shower head, cleaned myself, fixed the shower head, got back onto a call with Rev, and got the SSD back in. While doing so, I did knock something inside the case, probably on accident, and I did ruin one of my HDMI ports. And I basically had to format my SSD because nothing would work. Not even a reinstall while deleting the files would work. My product key got used up even while trying to install the Windows 11, and it failed because I hadn't formatted the SSD at some point at first. So my product key was now used on a failed installation. So I still not have an activated Windows. Fuck you, Microsoft, for that. I'm blaming you for this entire thing. But formatted the SSD, and I have used the entire weekend to set everything back up. We got most of the things back up, and now we're here. Also, in between somewhere there, I puked because of the stress. I was feeling really unwell. It was a horrible experience, and I hope to never have it again. That's basically the summary. Oh. Procrastinators unite tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe next week. I'll call you. I was watching someone else play Borrowed Trauma and he couldn't get into the game for an hour. He got kicked repeatedly. Just got an ad telling me I need ID to vote in UK elections. What the heck? Yeah, we actually also had a lot of Borrowed Trauma problems like that in the past. When we were doing our first Borrowed Trauma campaign, we had a lot of problems with just the game bugging out. Like when we would play it for a few hours and people would get knocked from the server or from the lobby, would not be able to join back in. We tried switching days, we tried other hosts, and nothing would work, basically. So just in case any streaming, so you could get your streams. Yeah, I've secretly turned the stream on in the background. I see he's doing karaoke. Damn, we're missing out. You know what? We're not missing out because I think we've talked about most, if not everything we could. Might be nice to raid out into Andy because who doesn't want to hear Andy sing? I've almost never heard Andy sing. I think I've heard Andy sing once or twice. Oh, but I am so glad. I'm so glad everything's almost back to normal. You know, work is not great, but it's at least better. And actually, having to reset up OBS, I actually got rid of some clutter, so, you know. The only downside is that the beginning animation, the intro animation, this one actually got corrupt when I turned back the time on the laptop. And thankfully it was still somewhere in Live 2D Cubism. I still had the file, but I, for the life of me, can't figure out how I exported it. Because at the moment it's a GIF, and you can see the helmet, it doesn't have the transparent parts as visibly as it used to. And the shine that's on there is looking very odd. I have tried exporting it as a video, but that gave me a black background, which I also didn't have before. But at least I have something, you know? It's something. I lost some tiny things, but yeah. I'm not gonna cry about it anymore. I've cried enough. I've cried, I've puked, I shat my pants, I broke the shower head. I've been an absolute menace. I've lost sleep over this, but we fixed it. Mostly. Good enough. Thank goodness that would have sucked losing it. It would have. I almost thought that I lost it. And I still have the old one where I just had one that was like 3 frames, where it like flicked in between the frames. Which still isn't bad. It's still a cute animation. But I wanted this one back because I made this one in Live 2D Cubism. And it was an upgrade from the other one. Because actually on this PC I'm able to make smoother animations with frame-to-frame work as well. But I just haven't gotten around to it yet because I have so much more shit to do. And now I have to fix the PC in between. So now I'm tired. If you need anything, hit me up there. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much everybody for being so supportive. Helping me out by just distracting me in the server and like making jokes and talking about stuff, and I'm tired. But at least it's over. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Oh yeah. Okay. I think that was it for today. I'm going to send you guys over to Andy to send our support back to another supporter that has helped me also a lot with this PC. It was thanks to Andy that I figured out that I had an SSD. Had I not figured out I had an SSD, I would not have talked to Bobo about the SSD and my suspicion that it might not fit into the converter that I had bought that was on the way. And I probably would have taken out the SSD and then noticed that it wouldn't have fit in the converter, and everything would have taken so much longer. So everything together, like I said earlier, several people have said like, oh, I'm so sorry I couldn't do more. But like, we as a whole made it work. We as a whole fixed it. Everybody played a part, and every part was very important. You know? Much love, Marmar. I'm glad things are working out again. You're the best. Thank you for the hydrate and the stretch and the head pet. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, everything worked out. It was an experience for sure. One that I don't need again. Let me see. Oh, that's not the command. I'll give you guys the raid message, and we're going over to Andy. I'm going to copy it as well because I am lazy. Let me see. Oh, my stream manager is not open. Time for a Space Grammy raid. Let's see. Andy. I'm going to start the countdown and say thank you so much for coming to the stream today. Thank you so much for your support, your patience, your love, and everything in between. Grab a snacky, hydrate yourself, and keep in mind you are important, you are loved, no matter where you are on this godforsaken globe of dirt floating through space. I'm going to send the support over to Andy, who is doing karaoke at the moment, which was a... It was a Donaton goal that got reached, so this might be the only time you see Andy do karaoke. Keep that in mind. Sleep tight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with gaming. We're back, baby.